Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tony, but you can call me OT. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut different flare degrees. We will be learning how to cut the 360-degree flare, 180-degree flare, 90-degree flare, 720-degree flare, 1440-degree flare. To cut 360-degree flare, what you need to do is your waist or your circumference, as the case may be, divided by 6.28. For 180-degree flare, you divide your circumference by 3.14. For 90-degree flare, you divide your circumference by 1.57. And for 720-degree flare, you cut 2 of 360-degree flare. For 1440-degree flare, you cut 4 of 360-degree flare. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be assuming that our waist is 20 and the length we're going to be using is 5, and we want to cut the 360-degree flare. So what we're going to do is your waist divided by 6.28, since we are doing the 360. That is 20 divided by 6.28. And then we have 3.18, which is approximately like 3.2. Then you're going to add your length to it, which is 3.18 plus 5. And that is going to give us 8.18. So approximately like 8.2. So what we are going to do is that this 8.2, I usually add like 1 inch to it. So in case my clothes shift and all, I will still have excess. So I'm going to cut 9.2 and I'm assuming 9.25 on my tape roll. Like that's the nearest to it. So 9.25 twice, and then you're going to fold your paper into two, just like you see me do. Then the next thing that you're going to do after folding your paper into two is that you're going to cross check that your length can carry what you need. And remember that we need about what's the name 9.2 twice. So I checked to see that I have about 18.2 there. Then you're going to fold your paper again into another two. That is making 4. So 360-degree flare, you always fold your paper into 4. Then you're going to mark out the 3.18 that you have. That is your circumference after you divide it by 6.28. You're going to mark it out here. So I was marking 3.25 here, which is like the nearest to it. Then after that, the next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to check your circumference and you're going to multiply by 4, because you like folded your cloth into 4. So whatever you have there must be up to 20. But I had 22 rather, and that's because I used 3.25. Then next thing after doing this is to add your length. And you know that the length we're working with is 5 inches. So you can either mark your 8.2 from up there, or you just mark 5 from here. Any of the two that you do works. I prefer to do this mark from the waist downward. Is easier for me, but any of the two honestly is very okay. So go ahead and cut your flare, and then you have the 360-degree flare like this. Then to cut 720, all you need to do is to cut 2 of this. So you're going to fold your paper the way you folded this, and you cut another one, like you duplicate it. You slit it open like you see me do, and then you slit the other one open, and then you join both together. That's where you have a 720-degree flare. Then for 1440, all you need to do is to cut 4 of these. That means this 360, you cut it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you join everything together and you have 1440. That's just the easy way to cut it. So now we are moving on to the next one, and that is the 180-degree flare. We are assuming that we are using the same circumference of waist, which is 20. Why I keep saying circumference of waist is because it's not only waist that can be a circumference. That means it's not only your waist that you can put a flare. So your 20 divided by 3.14, whatever your answer is, you are going to add your length to it. So I got about 6.37 and I'm adding 5 to it. And then I had 11.37. So I approximated it to like 12 because, like I said, I like to add excess to it. So my 12 is what I am going to fold. Look at how I'm folding my paper. I'm folding it into two. And you can remember that my length can go ahead. So you fold your paper like this again. That is how you fold for 180. It's quite different from 360. So just follow it like you want to make an arrow. And then you are going to measure out your circumference, which is this 6.37. So I just picked the nearest, which is 6.5, and that is what you can see me marking on my paper. After you're done with the waist, now we are going to add our length, which is 5 inches, and then you're just going to mark it out and you connect your lines. And after that, you are going to check to be sure that the waist is the same thing. And I think I got about 22 here too, because I used 3.5. Cut it out and you have your 180-degree flare. It's quite easy. So yeah, I was looking to show you that although they are the same waist circumference, but you can see the volume of 360 is more than 180. That's just the difference between the two. We fold paper into four for the two, but the volume is different. Now we are moving on to 90-degree flare. Still using the same circumference, that's waist. Waist 20, we are going to calculate for 90. So that will now be your waist or your circumference divided by 1.57. So 20 divided by 1.57 gives you 12.74. Then you're going to add your length to it. That is plus 5, which is going to give you about 17.74. So approximately that's about 18. So what you need to do is get your fabric or your pattern paper, as my case is, and you measure your length to be 18 inches. So I'm checking that my length can take 18 inches, and then I'm just going to fold it across to the other side because I'm sure my breadth can hold 18 inches. I already know that my paper is 24. So I'm just folding my 18 inches this way, and then I am going to measure out my waist circumference, which is 12.74. So I'm just going to use 12.75. That is what I'm about to measure now. After you're done, add your length, and we are using 5, and then just connect everything together and cut it out, and you check for your waist to be sure that it's the same thing, and you have your 90-degree flare. So this is 90, 180, and 360. And when I use 90-degree flare, I use it for bridal train most of the time. That train that is always at the back of dresses of brides, I use it. Then my 360 when you want to make a full circular dress, 180 when you don't want the flare to be too full. So they are all very useful. Now let us see this real life example. Let's assume that our waist is 30 inches, and then because I want to add pleats to my waist, I decided to add excess of 20, and I'm not adding like zipper allowance because that 20 is enough. I'm just going to remove my zipper allowance from it. Let's now assume that my okay, so your new waist right now is going to be that 30 plus 20. So that is 50. So that is your waist or your circumference, as the case may be. I want to cut 360-degree flare. So what you're going to do is your 50 divided by 6.28. The result you are going to get for this is what will be by your waist side, and that is 7.9. So approximately like 8. Then I want my length to be 9 inches, and then I'm going to add 1 inch to it. Half that I'm going to use to turn my peplon down, and half that I'm going to use to join it to my half length. So that is making 10. So 8 plus 10 gives us 18. So if I want to go to the market to buy fabric, all I need to do is I will check. I know the length of Ankara is 45 inches. If you divide 45 inches by 2, you are going to have what's the name? 22 points. Yeah, you're going to have 22.5. So the first thing you need to check is your length. I can see that is 18 I need, and then I have 22.5, so it can easily go inside. Now I want to check for my breadth. So 18 times 2 is 36. So that means I need about 1.5 yards, because in the market they cut a yard for like 34. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark 18, but you usually add one to it. So you're going to mark 19 twice on your clothes, like you can see me do. On that 19 mark, you're going to fold it like this into two. So the reason why you do this calculation to know the yardage is in case you are doing brighter clothes. It used to require volume, so that you know the amount of clothes you should buy. So this is just me making sure it is 19, because once it's not 19 and you cut your clothes, you will have shortage. So then I'm folding it again by the length. It is 22.5 that we have here, but me, I'm just folding out 19. So if you are watching this tutorial up to date, I hope you're enjoying it. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that other people can also see this video when you share. Thank you very much. So this is just me checking out to be sure that it's 19, and I'm just going to cut it. So basically I'm cutting a square of 19 by 19, and I folded my clothes into 4. So the next thing that you're going to do is that's your 8 inches. That is what you're going to mark at the upper part, like you can see me do. And you see that my clothes is folded into 4. So you're going to mark your 8 inches round. That is your new waist circumference. And by the time you are checking this 8 inches, you multiply it by 4. You should have 50 inches. You should not have a shortage of 50 inches. And that is your new waist circumference. Then you go ahead and then mark out 10 inches. That is our length. So you can either do 18 like this, or you can go and do 10 like this. Any of the two works. And then that is just a simple way to cut a 360 flay. Remember I said if it is 720, you cut 2 of this. If it's 1440, you cut 3 of it. And you can just keep multiplying it, and you will just keep cutting more 360-degree flare. That is how it works. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, beauty lovers.